Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Mark from the States. How are we doing today? I'm doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Also, thank you for all of you who had joined us on Sunday. It was a big success. I had a wonderful time walking around my own hometown. I thought that was very, very cool. Got to see things that I'd never seen before, and I'd lived here pretty much my whole life. That was pretty awesome. Thank you for coming along. Most views for a live stream on our channel. So that's pretty mind-boggling. I mean, by a lot, which is testament to all of you. So thank you. So I love having everybody with us. I got a big fake couch here, so please come hang out with me. Today we're going to learn about something I'd heard about a while ago, and we're going to do a deep dive, or watch Darren from AdventureMe do a deep dive on something called Butlin'S Family Camp. What is it? Butlin'S Filey Holiday Camp. It's abandoned now. But kind of goes through the history of it. I've heard of Butlin'S not too long ago. Well, actually, it was a while ago. And I was like, what's Butlin'S? Maybe it was referenced in a joke or some sort of comment. I don't remember exactly where I heard Butlin'S before, but no idea what it was. A lot of you say, oh, it's a, family vacation, holiday, camp kind of thing. And I'm like trying to think, did we have places like that? Sure. The Catskills, probably one of the more famous one in New York there. Trying to think something that I went to. I know I went to something, I forget the name, and I believe it's in Wisconsin, of all places. I went there when I was young. My dad was a race car driver back in the day, and went to a race at Road America. And I think for 6 days or whatever, we stayed at this resort. I don't know if they called them camps, but it was a lot like the movie. What's that movie called? Dirty Dancing. Where you go to this resort and they have, entertainers there that put on shows every night, and you stay in like bungalows or cabins or whatever, and they would serve breakfast at a certain time. Kind of one of those things. They'd have activities like hiking and going out on the lake, that sort of thing. So I'm kind of thinking it might be the same thing, but really no idea what Butlin'S family camp was or is. So I'm excited to look into this to kind of get maybe an inside look here. It's no longer existing, of course, but it is what it is. Always late to the party. Hey, but before we start, I got 2 links below, one to this channel, one to Darren's channel, right? And then one to this video. So AdventureMe, please get over there. If you have 1 like or 1 subscription to give today, I encourage you, please go over there and support Darren. I love his channel. He's one of the first to allow us to learn and watch and see new things. So please, it's really important that you get over there and support him. He's doing really well, and he puts a lot of work into these videos. So again, if you've got some support to give, I encourage you to go over there and give it to Darren at AdventureMe. All right, we got people in the seat. I hope you're all here, and we're going to learn about Butlin'S. I'd be curious to know if any of you have been to to not only this one or maybe one similar. I'm assuming there was more than one. And if you have been, yeah, I would love to hear what your memories are of it. All right, here we go. Oh, I gotta jump out. I can't just start it. I should be out now, yeah? Okay, here we go. I can't imagine there's much left of it. It seems like it was pretty large. So I'd be interested to know if it's been redeveloped. That looks pretty modern. Oh, there it is now. Oh no, no way you're getting me up on that thing. Oh, they're like two people gondola things. No, that does not look safe. It's huge. And they're fast. Oliver cigarettes. Butlin'S, Filey, 2nd June 1945 opening ball. Had to have your tux ready. That's great.
Hello and welcome to a new adventure. And today we're going to be looking at the old butlin'sfiley holiday camp that stood right behind these gates
1945 to 1983. Wow,
So this is a video that I've been wanting to
Had a
do
good run.
for a long, long time. I've been researching this place for probably over 20 years now. Butlin'sfiley opened on the 2nd of June 1945, but during its construction it was requisitioned for World War II and it was renamed RAF Hummond Moore with over 6,000 military personnel on site. The camp opened with a capacity of only 1,500, but this was quickly raised to over 5,000 soon after. The camp became Billy Butlin's pride and joy,
Wow.
and the jewel in his crown.
Holy smokes. Look at that. Heated indoor swimming pool. They must have been able to just, host a grip of people. Look how large the pools are. And there's 3 of them. Dang. And apparently there's indoor ones as well. Is this solar? What is that? Wow.
It rapidly expanded to accommodate over 11,000 happy campers. A short
Unreal.
railway branch was created from the Scarborough main line running nearby, and a new Butlin'sfiley station opened just across the road from the camp in 1947. A tunnel was dug underneath the main road so that they could ferry the campers straight into the camp, and the station lasted right through until 1977, when visitor numbers by train and in general started to slump. The camp was the largest of the 8 UK Butlin sites,
8.
and included many attractions unique to this resort at the time. You could drink at the world's longest bar, ride the miniature railway around the large boating lake, take a chairlift straight to the beach entrance, and even ride the Wild Mouse roller coaster at the large on-site fun fair. In October 1983, a shock announcement came that Butlin'sfiley, along with Butlin's Clacton, would close for good with immediate effect. Even the management team was somewhat stopped in their tracks, readying the camp to open for the 1984 season. The camp was later purchased by a businessman named Trevor Guy.
Let's look at this. This is massive in size. Now, those that I mentioned earlier that I think would be similar in what we're seeing here, I don't think they match this size. I could see why the military had took it over. I mean, it does kind of look like a military base in a way. I mean, a military base with swimming pools and a lake and a roller coaster. It's just ginormous. And it looked fun just in those photos.
He sold off part of the site to Primrose Valley next door, and he eventually reopened the remaining part of the camp as Amtree Park in 1986. But the camp again closed later the same year, as the Butlins magic had gone.
Yeah.
The eastern third of the site is now home to the Bay, a brand new holiday home and leisure development. And the remaining 2/3 were once again sold to Bourne Leisure, the owners of Primrose Valley. And by sheer coincidence, Bourne Leisure would later become the owners of the Butlins brand. So once again, Butlins had a connection with the original site it once owned.
So now it's just full-on neighborhood. You see the lake has been cut down in size, and they just built luxury resort living kind of thing, and massive amount of homes and new development stuff, which is what I figured would happen, to be honest with you. Wow. It just, looking at this, it just makes me think, man, that place was so big. And at its height of popularity, it just is like, wow, 11,000 people. Crazy.
The site has since been heavily developed and remodeled, and any notable remains of the camp have been destroyed completely.
That's a bummer.
But not all is lost, as we're about to show you over the next few videos. And in the words of Billy Butlin, our true intent is all for your delight. So enjoy the videos. I'm stood here now at what would have been the old south entrance to the camp. Now this would have been one of the main roads into the camp, and would have taken you across the back behind me towards the main car park and the reception building where you would have checked in. So let's have a look through the gate. And what you can see today is now the Primrose Valley Golf Course, and then you've got the Bay development just over there behind the trees. But right in front of us here would have been a large building just there, and then the road would have bent right here in front of the building and gone up behind it towards the car parks, which would have been right at the back, probably where that big tree is up there, and the reception building. And also you had the fairground on this side as well, and the staff chalets were somewhere over there. So this is what currently remains of the bottom right-hand side of the lake around the front of the property. So right in front of you there, you would have had the lake heading off towards those caravans in the distance. But if you look at those trees there, they are the original trees that used to be on a small island in the middle of the lake. And then the ones just behind it as well. They were the original trees on another island. But the miniature railway used to cross through the middle of those islands and make its way around the lake here and onwards towards the caravans.
I mean, as a child, they must have been so much fun.
Now I am told that there are some remains of the edge of the tracks for the old miniature railway and the pond edge as well for the islands, the concrete that held it, just in those trees over there. Now it's a shame, I can't get in there, it's private property and it is in use today, so I can't even venture in and show you that. So we're just entering now what would have been the original front of Butlin'sfiley and the lake with the miniature railway. Again now, it's part of the Primrose Valley complex. But I'm going to show you a picture in a minute that shows the old railway and this lake in front of us here. Now the lake that you see today is based on where the original lake was. Some of it is original, but a lot of it has been remodelled and re-landscaped, because the lake used to go far beyond that way and back
a lot
around.
larger. Yeah.
But it's hard to believe how different this would have been. The road that I've just come up this way was the original main road that went straight through here in a straight line, and you had all the main camp buildings to the left here, including the swimming pool, and then the lake would have been on the right hand side here like it is, but not there. So it's all been remodeled. So I'm going to show you a picture now, a fade picture, so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about.
Wow. Look at just the amount of people everywhere. This is wild. It looks fun though.
So this section of the lake that you're seeing now would have been the original layout of the lake. Just this part here. And then it would have headed off that way. So the original edging is still the same place of where it would have been. But I'm going to show you another picture now, which shows the railway that used to run, the miniature railway, it used to run all the way around the lake. So just take a look at this picture now. It shows the miniature railway and a small platform, which would have been right in front of me here on the lakeside. And you can see the lake as it would have originally continued on the right hand side there, instead of today where it's cut off in the middle. But it's nice to see they've retained the lake in some form anyway.
Yeah, it's been reduced in size, of course, but...
So this road here would have been one of the original camp roads, heading right through the centre of the park.
I'm noticing a lot of the homes are raised up here. Is there a reason for that? Interesting. Huh.
And you would have had the tennis courts just on the left here, behind these trees. And then right in front of me here, the chairlift would have crossed over the road here and headed off that way.
Though I will say, I mean, it looks a lot of fun, but man, those people carrier things. At the time, you're probably like, yeah, those look totally safe. Wild.
The actual chairlift station, the one on the site, was right here, just behind these trees. And it would have headed up and out that way. And also you had a bit of a kids' adventure playground just down here as well. But you can see the original perimeter here for the tennis courts on the left. And we would have had rows of chalets, again, on the right here, heading off that way towards the beach, just as we have today with the caravans. So some of these roads here are probably the original chalet roads. And now looking onto these caravans here that are actually built on top of the old tennis courts, which would have been right in front of us.
So these are like mobile homes, I guess.
So right here is one of the original roads coming up from the north entrance. And just behind the trees there would have been the original Butlins tennis courts, heading that way. But there's more to see just down here. Now if we take a closer look into these trees here, this would have been the original wall for the tennis courts there, or the edging. And I'll show you this picture now, and you'll see in there that wall in the picture.
Huh.
Now I'm going to show you that same picture. This time I'm going to fade it in from here. This is where it would have been taken from all those years ago.
Progress.
Now this car park here is what would have been the original rock gardens at butlin'sfiley. You would have had the dining rooms just to the right over here behind me, and then the main lake just over there in the distance. What I'm going to show you down here is even more fascinating, because it's something again that remains from the original butlin'sfiley, which I keep saying there isn't very much at all, but this actually does remain. And it's these original stairs here up to the rock gardens from the main road in. You can see the original stonework there, or the brickwork. So it's hard to believe.
Okay, if you have been there and you were a child, tell me you're not trying to slide down these right here. Or at least trying to walk down them. I know I would have.
Probably only one of a couple of things that remains from the old Butlin'sfiley days that's still intact today. And I'm surprised it's still here.
Well, it's a testament to the skilled
from the bottom
laborers who built it.
But it's hard to believe that such a massive site as big as Butlin'sfiley was. I mean, it was huge. And there's probably a handful of things left. I mean, if you really, really, really looked, you might find some more, which is the whole point of this video. Hopefully we are, but this is one of very few things that remains. And it's a bit disappointing that it's nothing bigger than this. A couple of years ago, you would have found more. And even 20 years ago, you would have found a lot more. But it's all been heavily redeveloped now because of Primrose Valley.
Another good bottling morning is here to begin the day. Wake up, and meet the fun halfway. Forget about work.
So we're currently entering what is known as the Bay, which is built on the eastern side of the former Butlins site. And basically, it's a load of holiday villas and homes where people can come and stay.
Wow, that's
So
nice.
it's still used in the holiday industry, which is nice to see. It's a very beautiful little area, I've got to say. But I'm just walking right through the middle of it now. And we're going to be walking up the east side of the camp towards the back. So we're heading up to now what is the pub known as the John Paul Jones.
Oh,
No, it's not
okay.
that John
Oh, it's not Naval Captain America. Yeah, I was going to say, it's not him.
Paul Jones.
Oh, not that one.
This is in the Bay development. It's a lovely little place.
Yeah, totally.
I'm coming here because I want to show you something that is on the wall over there. I'm just going to show you this plaque on the wall.
On this land stood Butlin'sfiley, the largest holiday camp in the world. Sir Billy Butlin, the holiday camp king. Love it. Yeah, these are nice looking.
Just spotted a lot of these old railway sleepers as well, used in this new development. There's plenty of them on the floor. Definitely old railway sleepers. You can see the where the bolts would have been, the chairs to hold the tracks in.
We would call those railway ties. In fact, I have several of them in my front yard, used as, like, you know, edging and barriers to separate the flower bed from where there was once grass. I'm in the process right now of moving out of grass. I had real grass, then I went to more of a water drought resistant we had serious drought a while back. Went more of a deserty landscape. Now I'm thinking I want to go back to maybe like fake grass or real grass. I haven't decided, but anyway, not important. But yeah, we would call those railway ties.
There's plenty of them up here.
Great for the yard.
So I'm currently stood at the back end of the Bay complex, so to the east side of it. But this would have still been part of the Filey camp right here now. And it would have stretched from here all the way, probably over a half a mile in that direction. And that was just the width of it. It also went from the main road down there and all the way to the back at the beach up there. So you just get the scale of how big this camp was.
Oh, and it's right there on the beach as well. Wow. I can imagine this is a wonderful place to go, or to live, for that matter. Those, they were called, I think he called them caravans, homes. We would call those mobile homes, I guess, but they're up off the ground. Is that just the style, or is it because it could be susceptible to maybe flooding or something? You'd see that like in Louisiana, New Orleans, especially after Katrina and the hurricanes over there. You would see the homes that when they're rebuilt, they're usually built up off the ground.
But where I'm stood right now has a bit more of a significance than just where something used to be. Because right here, we're on the eastern side of the camp, and what would have been the stable blocks and the elephant house.
Elephant house. I mean, every holiday camp needs an elephant, right?
Now, the significance of the elephant house, other than that the elephant lived in there, was that Charlie the elephant was also buried right outside
Really?
the elephant house. Charlie the elephant, or Big Charlie as he was also known, was a 5.5-ton Asian elephant.
Dang.
Originally based at the Butlins holiday camp in Ayr, Scotland. He was transported down to Butlin'sfiley in 1957. He was the largest elephant in captivity at the time. Charlie would often be led around the camp to meet and greet people. Children would come and pet him and feed him, and if they were lucky, they would be able to have rides upon his back. He was a very popular mascot of Butlin'sfiley at the time. Charlie was well cared for by his longtime mahout, Ibrahim, who stayed by Charlie's side throughout his time at Butlin'sfiley. Sadly, Ibrahim was taken ill and died.
Oh.
Charlie pined for him so badly that he refused to leave his large elephant house on the eastern side of Butlin'sfiley, and it is said that he became rather aggressive and disobedient. The RSPCA had recommended that Charlie should be put to sleep, and he should be buried at the Butlin'sfiley camp. Now, due to the size of Charlie, it was thought that the best option was to euthanize him whilst he was relaxed in his elephant house and dig a large hole just outside the doors to which he could be rolled into and buried. The location of the burial site has been kept secret for a long time. Only a few former employees who watched that fateful day knew of its exact location. But since the site has been developed, it seems the exact spot has been lost forever. Until now. There is documentation out there that states that they basically, because of the size of...
I'm not sure how I'm feeling right now. I mean, a touch of sadness, a touch of uneasiness, and yeah, it's a weird feeling. But poor Charlie.
When they put him to sleep, they opened the stable doors, literally dug a hole right in front of them and put him in the hole there because he was too big to move anywhere else. Now, this has been corroborated by quite a few former employees here at Butlin'sfiley, including one Rocky Mason, who I used to talk to for many years back in the day. He used to be one of the chief redcoats here, and he corroborated my story. Now, I spent many hours looking at old photographs, aerial pictures and maps to try pinpoint the exact location of where the burial site would have been, or the elephant house anyway. And I think I've pinned it down exactly just behind me here, and I'll show you in a bit more detail in a second. But when I sent the link to Rocky, this is many years ago now, I sent him the pinpoint of where I thought he was. He came back and said, "You're absolutely spot on." So now it's nothing more than a parkland with the bay development there. You can walk through this site. There's a couple of lakes scattered around, a bit of a nature park now. But right in front of us here, you would have had the stable building just there on this flat piece of land, and then the elephant house was directly in front of it, just there. Would mean that Charlie the elephant is buried somewhere here, right in front of the camera. Probably, I don't know, 10 feet down, who knows. So I've just ventured a bit further in to the large grass. So I think I'm stood on the exact spot right now. So somewhere under here is a massive elephant buried. Again, I could be a couple of meters out, a couple of feet out, but I'm pretty accurate. I'm pretty sure that I'm accurate and that it's in this vicinity here. But anyway, looks like nothing today.
Poor Charlie. Would have been nice for a little plaque or something. Yeah, it's very military base vibe. But
it's hard
nowadays
to
it looks
where we
nice.
stood right now would have been the self-catering chalets, the ones that you see in all the programs, the old style concrete chalets. And just to my right over here would have been a sports field as well at the back of the Filey site. But today, and I'll turn you around and show you, you've got the bay development just there, and then this is now Primrose Valley Caravan Park. But all in front of us here would have been rows of chalets going that way down, just like the caravans are today. It's hard to believe when you look at it. This path that I'm currently on now would have been one of the original roads behind the chalets, heading down towards the beach. They probably re-tarmacked it, but you can see where it would have continued straight ahead there. I'll try show you this road on a photograph or on a map so you can see which one it was, but it would have continued that way towards the caravans and straight on round the back of the camp. The whole time I'm walking around this site, you get the constant reminder that there was something here before, a bit like this here. You can just see the various bits of brickwork and stones in the path here. So this is definitely rubble from the old Butlins Filey. It's everywhere. All over the site, you just see bits of it in the hedge, in the floor. Now where I'm stood is what would have been one of the original roads coming out of the site and towards the beach for the beach access. You can see the straight road behind me. That would have headed right through to the site, which is all behind us here, and through the chalet lines and down into the main camp. And then just behind the camera here is the straight road as it heads down to the beach. Now just at the end of here, there was a turning circle. And here it is, the original turning circle. Still here today for the puffin billy train as it would have made its way down from the camp and around here to drop the passengers off here so they could head down there to the beach and then the same back again, back to the camp. Now this is the same puffin billy train that would have picked passengers up from the station as well and ferried them under the road in the tunnel to the camp, which we'll look at later on. And here again you can see the original beach access path, or the road down to the beach here. And what a beautiful beach it is down there. But this is still the original access today from the bay complex and Primrose Valley. And a packed beach down there, no doubt, when the camp was at its busiest time. And also Primrose Valley, which was only small back then. It was a tiny little caravan park next to Butlins. Today, it's taken over most of the Butlins site. So what you're seeing now is Primrose Valley is probably as big as the Butlin'sfiley complex was back then.
No doubt.
But it's nice to see that even today, it's still used to entertain millions of people. It's still used as a holiday destination, which is good to see. It's not a block of flats. It is actually the same intention as to what Butlins was back in the day. I mean, the bay complex even includes tennis courts, a pond, a nice entertainment centre, a pub, you know, all the things that you would have found at Butlins. And also Primrose Valley is exactly the same, just minus the chalets, and you've got caravans instead. And I'm now heading down this path here because I want to show you something just up here. So if you look at this video and the pictures, you'll see that Butlins used to have a chairlift, or a cable car if you're not sure what that is. This cable car used to run from the centre of the Butlin'sfiley site, some probably half a mile that way, and it used to rise up and head towards us here. The chairlifts would have come in and stopped here, dropping passengers off to walk down the same pathway that I've just walked up to get down to the beach. So right where I'm stood now is...
It's just the sheer amount of people that are visiting at its peak, that they have all these different ways to get down to the beach, and no doubt they're just people after people. I mean, it just seems like the sheer scale. I mean, I'm starting to think of like the amount of food they're making, and if there were pubs there, I'm sure they had entertainment. Like, it's just incredible. It's like some of those things like you think about from the past, and you're like, oh, I wish there was something like that. Or if you actually got to go when you were a child with your family, and those are memories, that I think about, going to that holiday resort. And a lot of it is fuzzy nowadays, but I do remember just ever so slightly certain things. And this would have been early 80s. And, it makes me smile that I think of my parents and just how innocent it is, or it was. I mean, just innocent fun. It wasn't social media and, hardcore drugs that you had to worry about, people getting into trouble. And I'm sure there was people who got drunk or whatnot, but as a child, I never saw it. You'd go to the dinner, you'd see the show, and pretty much you'd go to bed. My parents probably went down and did the adult entertainment of maybe having cocktails or whatever. I hope so. But, I'm asleep. I get up the next morning and raring to go. We'd go to the lake. We'd go to do all the things. It just puts a smile on my face, for sure.
It's where the chairlift station would have been for Butlin'sfiley. And right in front of me, just there. Now, I was hoping to find maybe some concrete in the floor or something to show what was here. But unfortunately, as you can see, it's
just
a
overgrown
wildflower meadow.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, but not when you're exploring. But I am going to have a look round just to double check there's nothing left. So I can feel where I'm stood now that there's something more substantial underneath this wildflower meadow. It feels quite solid where I am now. I've come from a muddy patch to something solid. So I think I am stood on the foundations of the cable car station right now. I just unfortunately can't see a thing. But it's definitely a lot more solid down here. So this would have probably been the back end of the building here, with the cable cars coming in this way. Now it's hard to believe, but right in front of us here would have been rows upon rows of chalets heading that way. Again, like the caravans today that you can see at the top, but they came much further down to probably about here. And this was known later on as White Camp, or the White Chalets. Now, a lot of people are not aware of this.
Oh, nice beach.
But not only was Butlin'sfiley the largest of all the Butlins camps, in terms of capacity anyway, it was also Sir Billy Butlin's favourite site. His favourite so much that he built his own holiday house right here, just down the cliffs from Butlin'sfiley. I'm going to show you that now. So there's what is now known as the White House, which was Sir Billy Butlin's home. Now, Butlin'sfiley is just up there on top of them cliffs. I would have headed down there and back. And his holiday home is right down here on the seafront, overlooking that beautiful view just there.
Yeah, I can totally see it.
Today, you can actually hire the White House out as a holiday villa. I'd very much like to do that.
That's probably expensive.
Views here, right across the Bay of Filey.
White House.
So if you just look up there in the distance, you can see Filey, the small Victorian seaside town. And then just round the coast, you've got Scarborough. How nice is that to live?
Now I'm kind of getting my bearings.
I think if I had all that money, I would do exactly the same thing. It's absolutely stunning round here, especially in summer, which it is now. Beautiful views across Filey Bay, and you can even go surfing down there.
This is Radio Butlin calling all campers, and this is your resident announcer wishing you all a very good morning indeed. The sun is shining and it looks like being another lovely day. So surely, lads and lasses, rub the steam out of your eyes.
This sign wouldn't have been pointing towards Primrose Valley as it does today it would have said Butlin'sfiley right there. So this is the main A165 that runs between Filey and Bridlington. And again, this is the original north entrance to the Butlin'sfiley holiday camp, as it was, but now part of the Primrose Valley Park. So you would have driven in here just as you do today. And what you see in the profile of the road is the exact same profile it would have been. It headed off down there and round the back of the Windsor building, which was just there, and the Regency building. And on here on the right, you have the rock gardens just there. And then another dining hall just behind that. And on that side, there was the main lake with the miniature railway. But what you're seeing here, this current road layout is exactly as it was. So you had 3 of the big dining rooms for the Butlins site here, which were on the far left of the actual camp. There wasn't much more beyond it this way. I think Primrose Valley has always been on this side here. But it's just so unimaginable what's there today. That road there that heads off down to a fence now would have been the original road that went around the side of the dining room buildings. So you may have heard me mention that Butlin'sfiley obviously had a station across the road. And in that station, the old Puffin Billy land train used to come in and collect the passengers from the platforms and then transport them to the camp via an under-road tunnel. Now the main road is directly behind me over here that cuts right between the station and the site, the camp. So they had a road access tunnel underneath the road that popped out in the camp here, where the land train would come through and then drop people off, probably at the reception building on the other side of the site. But what I'm looking for while I'm here now is the exit to the tunnel would have been just behind me here. And there's a curious looking manhole, shall we say, over here. Now I know it was filled in many years ago on this side. The other side, I believe, has also been filled in, but is still slightly accessible. But I'm going to take a look at this now. So this is exactly where the land train tunnel would have come out. You've got the main road just behind this hedge here, as you can see. The tunnel is way down there. But then there's this curious looking, like a cordoned off area, which to me looks like it could be an old access to the tunnel for maybe maintenance or something like that, because the tunnel is still intact under the road today heading that way. But it's weird to think, or maybe they've had a collapse, hence why they fenced it off. Maybe a bit of a landslip inside the tunnel. Who knows? But it's definitely fenced off, and I ain't going to be standing in there to find out. But that to me definitely looks interesting, which is why I thought I'd have a look. I'm trying not to look suspicious while I'm around it filming, but I spotted it the other day when I came in, and it's right where I pinpointed the tunnel exit to be, which was a coincidence, so I had to have a look at that. But I reckon that's collapsed of some sort. Right, so I've made it off the main road, and I'm in now to where the site of the station would have been on the other side. And I'm stood currently right on top of the other entrance to the road tunnel on the station side.
Oh, I see.
And I can see it right in front of me, the original edging of the tunnel. Now, unfortunately, it's not looking good from what I can see in front of it, but a massive pile of rubble. Looks like it's been filled in. I hope not. But there you go, you can see the concrete, all the stones here of the original rim of the roof there, or the entrance as the land train would have sloped its way down and underneath here. So yeah, my fears have been realised. It's been completely filled in. Right in front of us there, you would have had a brick roof and a double tunnel entrance just down here, and the original access road from the station platforms here as it slopes down. It's completely gone and filled in. Even a few weeks ago, you could see inside there. Not anymore. It's a shame. I brought all my gear with me as well. Now, I ain't digging that out. But anyway, I'll try to show you some pictures so you can get an idea. But later in the years, they dumped a lot of stuff from the camp inside there, including the old shells, I believe. The old covers from the Puffin Billy train are inside there, and they're still there today.
They just buried him in there?
A closer look at that brickwork there. You can just see the bricks.
Oh, yeah.
in the wall there. That's the original tunnel, like I said. Now I can see inside the tunnel just a little bit there. There's massive nettle bushes here, which is really annoying. It's definitely been filled in here. And if you just look there, you can see into the tunnel. Nothing to see, but you can probably get in if you were 2 foot tall in there and make your way right to the other side. Now we're just approaching the original station platforms for Butlin'sFiley station. As you can see right in front of us there is one of 2 major platforms. I think there was actually 4 at one point here. And the track bed here. And the same on the other side. It would have brought the trains in. So just here you've got the station platforms and a buffer just there.
A runaway train? Uh-oh.
And then you would have had the land train parked up here, waiting for the passengers to join the land train, and then it would have turned round and headed off down there and into the tunnel underneath the road. You can see one of the buffers there, on the edge of the platform. And then the other side will be just down here. Again, another buffer just in the trees there. Big concrete buffer, all smashed up now. And then the other station platform, just here. Now what we're looking at here are the original access stairs down to the station from the main road up there. Still intact, hidden in the trees. Very hard to find, but I found them. I knew where they were. Got the original posts on the side. And the steps are still intact all the way up. Right to the top there. And then if we pan round, directly in front of us over there would have been the platforms.
It's crazy that he's got these photos to show you. Wow. Quite the operation. Must have been a fortune to run.
Now a lot of this staircase at the top has been filled in. There's a lot of rubble dumped on top of it. Now I know that the farmer who owns this land isn't keen on people visiting. So he's probably done it just to keep people out. Because I know many years ago this was open and you could just walk in. And then just at the top of the stairs is the original gate there.
Oh, wow.
Still got the original gate catch on it there. And then I look back down the stairs into the trees there towards the station platforms. And then an old access road. And there's the steps that led to the gate to go down to the station. And here's the main road right next to it. So I'm currently stood in the middle of what is known as the Butlin'S Triangle, which is where the line that came into the Butlin'sFiley station joined back to the main line again, which ran just behind the Butlin'sFiley site. So basically, you had a terminus at Butlin'sFiley, and then the line headed towards the main line and split left and right, so it could join the main line. So I'm stood at the bottom of that triangle now, which was known as the Butlin'S Triangle. And currently, this is where it crossed the main road right in front of us here. I'm just going to show you, we've got a bridge abutment on that side there, which is still intact. Now there used to be one on this side as well, up until quite recently. That's no longer there. I don't know what's happened to it. It was there only a couple of years ago. And then that embankment there, right in front, is now what leads down to the Butlin'sFiley station.
it's a shame that it had to go, but I mean, at least it's not, I mean, it's still very nice looking. You know what I mean? It's not like they just mowed it over and put a shopping mall or something. It's nice. It looks nice. I mean, great location. Those pools look gnarly. Empire Theater, tennis courts, rock garden, main entrance, north entrance. Oh wow, you can really see it from this side for sure. I love that they have their own like radio.
Wake up, wake up.
You can just imagine it blaring throughout the.
Forget about late for breakfast, so everything's all okay. Don't wait, it's great. Have fun the Butlin way.
History, man. Sounds like one of their shows. So he died in 1980. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop there. Thank you, Darren, so much. That was awesome. Yeah, it would have been one of those places that you're like, yeah, I would have loved to have gone there as a child with my family. It would have been so much fun. Just looks like so much, stuff to do, a lot of activities. Yeah, I got to do something similar on a very small scale when I was, 10, 11 years old. And so it kind of gives me that sort of vibe, but this is on a scale that is just, it's so massive. So they're saying like at its peak, 11,000. My gosh. And it's even got some military history as it was commandeered, I guess. But it was really kind of at the beginning of its deal, right? Because it was 1945 to 1983, almost a 40-year run. That's pretty dang good, man. That's pretty good. And there's other Butlin's facilities throughout the country, so that's cool. Yeah. Awesome. Hey, do me a favor. Go over to Darren, like and subscribe on his channels, comment, do whatever that helps his channel. It's really important that you do. Thank you for spending the last hour or so with me. I don't know how long this video is, but I assume it's going to be a long one. There'll be a video here coming up. Hope to see you there. Hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. Let me know if you've been to a Butlin's. Doesn't have to be this one, but now I kind of understand when someone references Billy Butlin's or a Butlins camp, or the Redcoats even, at Butlins. Now I have some sort of contacts, but if you've been to these when you were younger, yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear about your memories and what you thought of it. Until then, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark